To see these images of protesters there marching through Statuary Hall on their way, it appears, to the House floor. They are just steps away from the chamber. Right there, that image, that is literally just one room away from the chamber floor. And you have to remember, of course, what's happening inside the chamber. We have seen or learned that leadership was taken, was whisked away by security. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and others. The vice president, of course, is no longer there, but it does appear that there is business continuing on the floor. They are continuing to have this debate over these objections to the results, even as now just steps away, you have this really astounding breach of security with protesters now roaming freely, it appears, through the halls of the Capitol. This is just not something I've ever seen or really imagined I could see, because normally, on any given day, yes, this is the people's house, and you often have many people, pre-pandemic, roaming the halls. You have to have an appointment to get into the Capitol. You have to go through several levels of security. Members of the public usually have to be, on some kind of guided tour or there to see a member or to have some actual business purpose for being in the halls. And you do go through several layers of security. You have to get a badge, go through a mag. So the fact that they now seem to have just breached the barricades, and look, some of them, it appears, are taking videos, taking pictures, shouting, urging others to come along. I'm a bit dumbfounded, because we just have never seen anything like this.
Well, with good reason. John, Carl, you can't even use the word normally when you're looking at something like this happen. But if you were to use it, you would say that a president in a situation like this would be calling for calm, would be telling the protesters to stand down. Instead, he's attacking his vice president.
I'm almost speechless, George. It's an attack on American democracy, and it's literally an attack on American democracy, on the symbol of American democracy, on the central location of American democracy, the United States Capitol building. And yes, in any remotely normal situation, the president would be on national television right now, appealing for calm, appealing for his own supporters. These are people who have attacked, stormed the U.S. Capitol building, carrying Trump flags, wearing MAGA gear. These are Trump supporters. He would have the power to come out and to say that they should walk away. And George, the irony of the president who portrayed himself as the law and order president, provoking, essentially a calling for this attack, and his supporters attacking police officers, Capitol police officers. That's how they got in there. They breached the police line. They attacked the police officers and stormed their way into the United States Capitol building. This looks a lot to me like the end of the Trump era, because it's hard for me to imagine any of those Republicans who are in Congress, who are elected officials, continuing to stand by this, to defend this.
Terry Moran, earlier you were saying it reminds you of images we see overseas.
It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. I've seen government buildings stormed in other countries. I never thought I'd see it here. What did they think, Republicans who stirred up this fantasy, these lies that the country was being stolen by some, Hugo Chavez from the grave and that kind of nonsense? What did they think people would do? And this is the logical end in many ways of that strain of Trumpism.